That's an hour show. That whole thing went by so unbelievably fast.
Sorry, guys.
Really?
You got something you want to use?
Yeah.
Then let's go. This is your segment.
I
Ladies and gentlemen, Percy Hugo.
All right. Well,
He's going to do his political.
sure. Now, Brooke gave a lovely little introduction about the environment, and actually, she brought up a couple of good points, and I have to concede that.
How many times are you going to interrupt Percy on this?
I didn't interrupt her.
I don't.
Yeah, no,
not
she
interrupt. I'm very,
listens. This is very.
No, I was saying you
She's open-minded and friendly and all that
Respectful.
liberal crap. So, Brooke had a couple of good points.
They don't just interrupt Brooke. Okay,
I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you right there. What?
Go ahead.
I can play this.
This is the easiest show I've ever done. I just sit there.
Brooke, you brought up some points about the magnitude of what was going on, and that is a legitimate argument. The counter to that is obviously this is one spill out of many, many years of safe operation. So I'll concede that it is a huge spill, and there's a lot of damage being done. Unfortunately, with any sort of industrial endeavor, the risk of something like that happens. So reasonable argument from the other side. There's always that risk whenever you get into it. I think a lot more could have been done had we put our plan that we had in place earlier. And of course, I trace that blame back to the same place they traced the blame back to the destruction following Hurricane Katrina. The federal government, and specifically the White House. So, from my side,
I knew this was coming.
well, from my side, I mean that's a fair
Sure.
argument. If George Bush
It is a fair argument.
If George Bush broke the levees by himself because he doesn't care about black people,
He didn't break them. He blew them
I know,
up. There's a
right.
big difference.
Yeah, there's a huge difference. But Calypso Louis Farrakhan told us that. So maybe he says something. But my concern this week is not about the oil slick, and it's not about the Arizona immigration debate. It's about the Grease fire. Now, if you're not familiar with what's going on, there's some rioting in Greece. And
Grease fire.
Grease
yeah,
fire.
the Grease fire.
Sure.
Greece is on fire.
Yes, it is.
And God, I hate to say I told you so. Many moons ago, at the genesis of this media giant that we call colbertradio.com.
That's right.
I told you, soon enough, too big to fail would be applied to anywhere. And it's about to be applied to an entire country. Now we have, we could call Greece, instead of Freddie Mac, we're just going to have to call it Freddie Macatopoulos. I could be indirect about the reason.
That's not bad.
Yeah, no,
That's
that's
something you
pretty
feel
good.
like having some baklava.
Sure, it'd be fried.
Whoopah.
I could be indirect about the reason for Greece's troubles, but that's never really been my specialty, and I don't like to beat around the George W. Bush.
I just got the Grease fire.
Yeah, there you go.
You just got to agree with
I was
my
like, why are you
big
talking about
fat
a
Greek
Grease
riot.
fire?
Yeah, exactly. My big fat
Your
Greek
problem
labor
is
union.
you're too smart for this show.
He really is. He really is. But I'll just say what a lot of us are thinking. We're watching right now live on CNN the failure of the European socialist system. Right? Greece now, right from the New York Times, notably the most unbiased media source in the country.
Right there with Fox News.
Right there with Fox News. Patchwork pension plan adds to Greek debt woes. Now let me go ahead and cover this. This is something very interesting about the Greece economic plan as a system. There's a 28-year-old hairdresser in this story that she is, now it says she's keenly aware that she has the right to collect a full pension at age 50 because being a hairdresser is listed as one of 580 professions in Greece that is occupationally dangerous. I'm not kidding. And this is a quote.
Dangerous?
This is a quote from her.
You lose an hour.
I use 100 different chemicals every day, dyes, ammonia, you name it, she said. You think there's no risk in that. Now, I'll give you being in the military, working in the industrial sector, being on an oil rig in the Gulf. Those things are dangerous. Being, Keith Olbermann's producer. Those things are dangerous.
Wow.
However, being a hairdresser is not really dangerous. So, the problem might be with the system in Greece. She says people are not made to live 150 years, so she should collect retirement at age 50. Now, what are these riots about? The proposed plan by the government to offset the debt for the pensions that Greece was paying out is to raise the female retirement age from 50, are you ready for this? To 55. The female retirement age, because the male age is different. The male age is actually, I believe, 60. And they're going to raise that one 5 years as well to 65. Now, I could be wrong on that. This one only has the female numbers. No, wait. No, yeah, it does only have the female numbers right in front of me. So, Greece has promised an early retirement to about 700,000 employees, or 14% of its workforce, giving it an average retirement age of 61, which is one of the lowest in Europe. Now, you go to a section in the New York Times called Promises, Promises. Government debt versus future obligations as a share of gross domestic product. What does that mean? That means how much money the government is going to pay out in entitlements versus how much they bring in. Greece's current debt is 113.2% of its
Of the
GDP.
GDP, yeah.
And their current and future obligations.
Ours is 80.
Ours is 80. Now listen to this. The number for them is 875.2% of their current and future obligations. That's how much their GDP is going to have to grow to pay off all these obligations. You know how much America is going to have to grow? 500%.
Yeah.
We are staring down the barrel of this exact same system here in America, and nobody is pumping the brake. Nobody. Now,
It's a
And how do you solve
self-fulfilling.
this problem?
hold on, because my next paragraph leads off,
You go,
and
girl.
I quote, "Are there any solutions being proposed?" Read it right there, Bert. Are there any solutions being proposed?
Yes.
Okay, outstanding. So, there are a lot of solutions being proposed. And what do you think the solutions are? Is it some new innovative economic strategy? No, not at all. You know what it is? It's a bailout. It's a bailout. And you know who that bailout's coming from? Brooke Fox, John Colbert, Mark Coney, Lance Morrison.
Part of it
Percy
anyway,
Hugo.
from the money that
Part
we
of
put
it.
up in the International
The
Monetary
rest
Fund.
of it is coming up from the IMF
unemployed
and the EU.
If somebody start giving $1 to the Save Lance Pass Fund, if anybody out there in radio world could just send $1 to Save Lance's Pass Fund
At colbertradio.com.
103 Prospect Way, Goose Creek, South Carolina, 29445. That's just one measly dollar to Save Lance's Ass Fund. 103 Prospect Way, Goose Creek, South Carolina.
All right, before Lance just runs wild with my segment. That's right, America. Greece is too big to fail.
And on fire.
And as with anything, yes, and it's on fire. And it's with anything involving the collectivist philosophy. When we bail out Greece, sure enough, somebody's going to pull up to the drive-thru next. And it's going to be Spain, Portugal, and California. The current proposal is to take money from the IMF and the European Union and bail out Greece, the International Monetary Fund. That'll teach them to build a society with a sense of entitlement, right? Because when a king demands too much, you just give him more. Sadly, this fits directly in with the Obama agenda. America should bail out Greece, in his opinion, considering how rich we've been. And let's face it, we deserve to come down a peg. All Greece demanded was basically what the UAW does for its people, and we all know how nice those people are. So, here's a bold step, a bold proposal. Here's something fresh and new. Bold,
I
fresh.
got something for you.
Let it fail. Let Greece just let the consequences of their actions come to fruition.
No. They thought about that for GM. Look what happened. You know, there are things in place in the United States for failing companies like GM. It's called bankruptcy. But
Sure.
they didn't do that.
Well,
No,
We
Greece has
bailed them
become
out, and
insolvent.
now we own 60% of General Motors. So that let them fail thing ain't gonna fly.
Does anybody
anyway.
find the irony in the Obama administration about to buy up trillions of dollars of bad debt?
Look,
That's what the Bush administration did.
the irony
They were
is
Republicans.
Sure.
that one of the
So they were
things
mean about it.
one of the
Right.
things the administration was going to insist upon with these companies was to make sure that they were using sound fiscal practices.
Right.
This is somebody who this is a group of people who have spent spending several $1 trillion of our money that we don't have, and they're worried about companies using sound fiscal practices.
Government
I
malpractice.
just think that we should change the International Monetary Fund to the Monetary International Lending Fund.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. They've become pretty much an open door policy.
Well, you know,
So,
December
the only thing-
20
No one got that.
2012, we're not going to have to worry about it. The Mayan calendar's over. I'll be sitting having a margarita.
I have
Just
just
waiting
one
for
paragraph
that.
left when he's done.
Well, you better hurry up.
All right. Now I know that the only thing the liberals would actually allow to fail would be Fox News, but this whole game has really become serious. We're staring at the last holdout of capitalism on the entire planet, and we're slowly listening to the drumbeat of socialism in this country. Even though we can look to Europe and see what happens, we can see the end result of our own policies failing right in front of our very eyes. And so that means if we keep going down this path, and we know it's going to fail, we're doing it on purpose.
We're doing to ourselves what the Soviets couldn't.
We need to learn lessons from other countries.
Thank you, Percy.
I'm pretty
We'll be
sure-
right back with colbertradio.com.